Save it for next time. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Brawling Dragon Tavern. As you can see, we're kind of down one person today, but we're doing something a little different. We're going to be doing a 2-hour round table. We're going to try and keep it game oriented, but the more or less we're just going to let the conversation go where it goes, and then yeah, have fun with it and discuss random things. Discuss characters, world, campaign, inspirations, depressions, story arcs. Think that covers it? Yeah.
Calling out depression and story arcs. I feel like you're talking about manga.
So, yeah. Let's jump into the first part of this nonsense. You had mentioned that there was a new Shadowrun game. I can see you just vibrating over there to talk about it. So go ahead.
That's why he's all
Yeah,
blurry.
new book got dropped. Shadowrun Deadly Arts completely changes the way combat works, adds a bunch of new cool stuff. Uh, if you run or play in it, I highly recommend picking it up. Definitely makes things very interesting, but not only does it allow your characters become a lot more unique, it also allows the DM to make some very scary and dangerous enemies too. It works both ways in that book. It's pretty cool.
Well, you are the Shadowrun person at the table, so if you recommend it, you recommend it.
Oh, a lot of people at the in the server that I'm in for it have been using it. Pretty awesome stuff.
Uh, the two heads of Wizard of the Coast D&D are stepping down. Mike Merles and the
Oh,
other
no
guy.
kidding.
Yeah, both of them are departing from D&D to go on other projects. Pretty crazy shake up there. Might give them a chance to do something fresh. Who knows? Best of luck to both of them, whatever they jump into.
Yeah.
Let's see. Random news. We were talking about this a little bit. Gremlins is getting Gremlins 3, and we're getting another Beetlejuice movie.
I haven't watched the Gremlin movie, either of them, for so long. They're so much fun.
I watched both of them around Christmas time and no, yeah, Christmas time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I absolutely love both those movies. They're so fun. Let's
It's a
see.
yearly thing. Have to do it yearly.
Oh, this news got dropped, which got me excited. I don't know about anyone else because, as you know, it is a pain in the ass to find any form of 28 Days Later anywhere at a reasonable price. Sony
Oh,
has
yeah.
Sony has announced the 4K release of it coming up.
No kidding.
Counting the fact that it was basically filmed on a potato, I am really curious how they're going to pull this one off.
That was an iPhone they used to film it.
That was the second one.
Uh,
The first one was filmed on a Canon camcorder that only does 1080p.
so what is the 4K part about? It's like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm guessing.
Use AI to completely upscale it or something?
I don't know. They're gonna have to work some kind
Potato, but better.
of magic. I'm really kind of excited for it because, well, you can actually own it in a higher resolution, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this one, Chief. Am I going to pre-order and purchase it? Yes. Am I worried about it? Yes.
I don't feel like those worries are completely unjustified.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah. No, that the 28 franchise has nothing but love going for it.
Yeah.
Every zombie, I, I'm sure there's a name for him, but every fan of the zombie genre loves the 28s.
Oh, yeah. They're in my top 5, both of them.
Oh yeah.
That's weird. We had a conversation a while about is 28 is the 28th later like actually a zombie movie, or is it more like a contagion infection movie? Like, are they really zombies, or are they just like contagious sick people? You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, it that is actually like a big conversation we got into. That'd be like a whole episode worth of discussion right there.
That's a fair. God, I haven't watched those movies in
Because
forever.
I don't, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, and I don't recall like people dying and then becoming zombies. They just kind of like are infected, and then eventually they're the rage monsters.
Yeah, they get infected, they become rage zombies. They seek out others and violence, infect them, but they never
It's
actually.
like
They never explicitly eat anyone. They just beat the fuck out of them and infect them.
Tear them apart and stuff like that.
Through
Body fluids.
body fluids. Yeah,
it's like super rabies.
it really is.
That's less of a zombie virus and more of just like a super hyper aggressive rabies virus.
Yeah, it's they're just really good movies, both of them. I'm excited for the new trilogy that's coming out. Let's see, what else
Last time I watched those movies was before 2020.
I have the DVDs of them. I don't have the Blu-rays of them because, well, I'm not going to pay those prices for these movies. I'll wait for the new 4K.
Well, yeah, with the 4Ks coming out, there's no point now.
Yeah, and that's the best part about the 4K coming out is you can buy the movie and not pay over $200 for the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. New Ghost in the Shell series was announced for 2026. That's exciting.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it looks like we got the whole band back together for it.
Nice, nice.
Cool, very cool.
The new episodes, I think the episodes are starting to drop for the new series by the Cowboy Bebop creator, and there's nothing but praise for it.
You pretty much had me sold at the guy from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I'm kind
I
of.
love Bebop. I love Samurai Champloo. And the fact that in a recent interview, he said that all of this stuff is basically in one universe. It's just like, well,
Yeah,
I love it even more now.
I gotta
That's
see.
interesting.
I gotta watch Space Dandy. I hear good things about that series.
So, anyone else like super interested on this? Like, because it's been kind of blowing up all over the place, but supposedly, everything's leaning towards the potential drop of the Oblivion remake coming out sometime within the next couple months. No one knows exactly when, though.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yep. It's if you look on the Steam page,
Why don't
all the information there has been updated. They completely changed a couple of things, and it's kind of upsetting the whole community right now.
I mean, they could just put effort in making a new one.
They are. One each and a delay pair. Switch 2 is dropping. I think we talked about that last week.
Yep. A lot of new games coming up for that one as well. They're going to be super interesting.
I'm definitely going to get a hold of one myself. It's just a question of when.
So, I could care. This is just me being honest. I could care less about the new Oblivion dropping, but I am ecstatic for the new Marathon coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Get
one?
on your soapbox there.
Get on my soapbox. Yeah, can I get a step stool to climb on it, please? Sure.
Like, geez, you're like excited about that game. It's nuts.
Dude, I am waiting for that pre-order to drop, and so I can lock that shit in.
Speaking of new games,
The art style,
I didn't hear the name of the one that Melina was talking about.
Marathon.
Is talking about.
Yeah, the man, he started talking over me because I'm just over here gushing about this.
sorry, go ahead.
The cinematic reveal, the trailer was dropped today. if you watch Love, Death, Robots, you're instantly going to recognize the person that did this. Uh, it's absolutely phenomenal. Just the 10-minute short, just about 10 minutes that they did for this.
Yeah, I'll say about 10 minutes. Yeah.
The gameplay reveal was today by Bungie, and yeah. This is not a stress-free game. This is a high-stress, anxiety-riddled type of game.
Okay, so I need to stay far, far away from it.
Unless you want stress and anxiety.
Everything that
Dude,
they stated about the
you know some of the
gameplay,
games I play.
Yeah.
I play those for a reason. Because I don't want to constantly be buying new fucking controller.
this game would make you rage on a level you've never experienced, Tom, more than with some of the big bats that you've had to deal with.
And I'm out. I am so far out. It's not even funny.
Yeah, Marathon's back. It's back in a big way, and it's exciting. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. I don't know what Bungie did, but I think they have absolutely cooked with this insanity.
If you want to start talking soundtracks, there's another trailer that I watched for another movie, and you're not going to be able to escape the soundtrack. It's going to be everywhere.
What?
Oh,
Tron.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's coming up.
They released the soundtrack already?
no, it's just the sampling that you
No,
get.
they
Where,
just have some of it playing over the trailer.
remember what I told you, Tom, where it's like, what if Nine Inch Nails did Daft Punk?
Yep. Even
It's
though,
like-
look, Daft Punk, I like some of their stuff. Nine Inch Nails, you know, going through the 90s as a teenager, of course. I'm probably going to wind up buying the fucking soundtrack just so that way I can listen to it whenever the hell I damn well please.
Dude, the soundtrack sounds really good for that so far.
So that on the topic of new games, that game Wild Assault is out right now. Just released yesterday. It's on sale currently, and for the first few people that are able to pick it up before it no longer goes on sale, you get a bunch of bonuses and stuff. So those who might be interested, I recommend picking it up before that deal goes away. Fun game. It is a tactical shooter though, so you got to be cognizant of when you're working with your teams and such.
I'm out.
Not for everybody, but fun one.
I'm out.
But yeah, that deal's gonna end within, I believe, a week or two.
So the whole reason why I'm out on this one is because I am an awful gamer. And a while back, my nephew at the time, who was like 10-ish, might be 8, might be 10, somewhere around there. He's in his early 20s now. Went to go visit my family out in that area. He and I went up playing a couple of games. He wanted to play Halo.
Oh, you poor baby.
Did you get your butt handed to you there, buddy?
I think he got
Such
his
an
ass
extent,
pushed into his throat.
he got bored and decided to use me as a guinea pig just to try to do some of the things that he has always wanted to, but has never been able to. He was just like not paying attention to do something, and I actually got him once. I actually tagged him. He paused the game, went out, and told my sister, my brother-in-law, my mother, and my father. Literally stopped. Attention, everyone. I'd like to just let you know. Just like, really, kid?
That's funny.
Love you. But for God's sakes. Like, so there's a reason I don't play certain games. There is one that I'm going to. I'm not going to do well at it, but I'm going to have fun. And I can't fucking wait. I sent one of you guys the trailer for it with just a line of me saying, I'm so happy I almost cried.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yes. Because there's a new beat 'em up coming down that sometime this year of using the Marvel characters. And
Yeah,
it's by the same team that did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate beat 'em up that
cool.
like is universally loved. And this X-Men or not X-Men. This Marvel game is being hailed as the spiritual successor to the old X-Men arcade game, which y'all know how much I have yammered on about that game.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
Dude, at least two other people in here have a love for that game and Turtles and the arcade. Manny is too young for
Yeah.
that.
Did we?
No, I've played it.
Were we
Colossus
able
is
to?
awesome.
Were we able to determine whether or not anybody has? Never mind. I answered my own question.
What
That
else
old
is
X-Men
there?
arcade game. If I could literally have an arcade cabinet,
Yeah,
it would be
honestly,
that
yeah,
one.
it would probably be that one. I would also think probably either that, probably Pac-Man.
I respect Pac-Man.
Tron, definitely the original Tron.
Probably
Can't go
Space Invaders for me.
Yeah, I was thinking of Galaga. Yeah,
Respectful.
Galaga's a
Also
good one too.
respectful.
If you want to get real spicy, you can go with Joust.
Shit.
So let's see. Finishing up this roundabout of discussion, we'll keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Minecraft movie is a lot of fun, and
yes,
I'm happy it's been fast-tracked for a sequel.
yeah,
No kidding.
Overall, we both agree universally that it's a 7 out of 10 and not a full 10. There were issues that held it back significantly from that point.
the biggest issue I have with it is not so much of an issue, is that unless you are a Minecraft fan or a child, you're not likely going to enjoy the movie. So,
Ask you this. There's one question I always have for you, and this is how I gauge on whether or not to like accept the recommendation.
okay,
Nathan,
yes.
would you watch it again?
Okay, there is. It's not just a yes or no, but it's not a yes and a no, Manny.
That's fair.
I would happily watch it with my friends who haven't seen it, and if they would particularly desire to watch it, and like we're having got friends over and we're going to watch a movie, and somebody says let's watch a Minecraft movie, I was like, okay, no problem. But I don't think I would ever actually necessarily put it on just to watch it.
There is a but there.
There is a but there.
The but is this. He wants me to pick up. He actually wants to pick it up on dish so we have it on the shelf.
Yeah, there's a couple collector set that I think are really cool. That I think would be really neat to have. But that's not the but I was talking about. My but was, like, if you're going to do a video game movie marathon, it's perfect for it. And I would happily put that in the list to watch it again. But just put it on any Sunday to watch it? No, I don't know that I would do that.
Okay.
One of the things that sold me on it is the fact that it actually outperformed the Barbie movie at the box offices
That's crazy, yeah.
by a significant margin, actually.
For opening weekend,
You're
yeah.
joking.
The long term, we're not sure how it's going to do in the long term. Barbie was doing gangbusters long term.
Yeah.
Minecraft
Oh yeah.
opening weekend definitely did gangbusters, but it's one of those movies where you're not going to go seen it and see it again. It's a movie where you'll take your kids to see it, or if you're a long term Minecraft fan.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Like,
Yeah.
I am not a Barbie fan, okay? But I would definitely watch Barbie again because it's just a great, ridiculous movie.
Movie's so
I'm Ken.
Instant fucking classic.
Yeah.
What's your job? Beach.
I do think one good thing about the movie that you could go ahead and possibly watch it multiple times over is the number of references and Easter eggs that are in the movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it's not so
Again,
much.
yeah, that
Not so much. Okay, let's watch it again to catch those. I don't really care that much. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'll watch it again. But I mean, it would be interesting for you, Tom, who hasn't really even played Minecraft, to see if you get any enjoyment out of the movie.
Dude, there's some deep cut adult humor jokes in there.
Yeah.
They come out of left field that you don't expect in this movie.
And some good puns.
Look, there is one reason why I do actually want to see it. I was just trying to gauge, should I go to the theater for it? Because I'm somebody who just enjoys legitimately going to the theater.
Just going to the theater, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy the experience. So
Except you
just
don't get
because
popcorn.
I'm going to go to the theater for it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But there is one reason why I do legitimately want to watch this movie. And his name is Jason Momoa.
Yeah, his character was great.
His character was absolutely great, and the bromance between him and Jack Black, you can feel it through that damn screen.
Because like you could put Momoa in a movie that's really not very good, and you're still gonna get entertainment out of it because it's Momoa.
Dude, him and Jack Black are absolutely great in the movie, even with the Jack Black isms. It's a good movie. It's worth a watch. It's enjoyable, and I'm happy it's getting a sequel. Alright, I'm going to pivot us over to game-related stuff, because we can meander on this for the entire time we're here. So, let's jump into some campaign stuff. I don't have any pre-prepared questions because I didn't do my homework.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. The GM came unprepared for once. Oh no. I have to improvise. What shall I do? Oh, look, twisty time. What are your thoughts, each of you, find a pecking order of operations here, whatever. What are your thoughts on the current arc of things? From where you guys started the campaign to where you're currently at?
Man, that is a very loaded question.
Tom looks like he has some thoughts there.
Hard to answer this.
You know, when we first started, it quite literally was that meme of, we're going on an adventure at level 1. We are level 12. Time to kill a god.
Maybe we'll hit level 12 by then.
But no, when we first started off, very humble beginnings, very rough beginnings. Our characters being bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, little adventurous, basically these adventurous little shits that were immediately starting off up to no good, as like we encounter those bandits and the first thing we do is, oh no. Anyways, we just go ahead and start murdering them.
One of them got set on fire. My character literally started the campaign without one single offensive spell. I could not directly attack with magic in any way, shape, or form. I had to get very creative and rely on a whole lot of DM's grace.
It produce fire is the only freaking spell Nikolai had, basically. Produce flame. There, your beer's on fire.
I don't know what it is or what it really was at all, to be honest. Normally, when I put together a character, I can typically jump into them with little to no issue at all. I mean, just ask Tom and Nate, they know. They've seen me do it before. But for some reason with Scavard, for the longest time, struggled to figure out and find footing for him. Just, I don't know. It just never clicked up until like it took a long time until the character finally clicked.
I've never, ever, even to this day, you've come up with characters past Scabbard. Never have you struggled with any of them, no matter what game system we're using, no matter what kind of bullshit we're doing. None of them hold a fucking candle to you trying to get a hold of Scab.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is this was probably, in my experience with gaming with Manny here, is probably the first time you've ever really stepped outside any realm of comfort with the type of character you're playing. So
Not really. When I first started off, Scavard was a artificer. It was a lot of fun, but I didn't want to like take over and overshadow what Nikolai was doing as an artificer, so decided to jump into Ranger. And I do enjoy the Ranger quite a bit.
yeah.
But at the same time, it did not fit who Scavard was. And eventually settled on going Paladin. And Paladin was my least played, least favorite character for the longest while. And now I'm kind of really enjoying it. But for a while, and I really don't know why, I just struggled so much trying to find Scav's personality. Like, yes, he is this adventurous spirit, but he's also like this massive coward. And that started to change over time the more like he traveled with his family and started getting into trouble and such. And now he's more or less trying to be the one that stands there to try and keep and hold the family together, but at the detriment of his own like self-being.
Like right now, he's taking some punches.
I don't know what kind of punching he's getting or taking.
And
Might
there's
have
a
to
lot
roll
of
with disadvantage just to walk.
There's definitely a lot of character growth there for Scav, but that goes for everybody else. Like Nikolai's changed a lot. Mongo's been through a lot. Even Cayenne has been through a lot. The campaign is a very interesting one. In my personal opinion, I think it's definitely one of the greater ones that Mai has ran.
For sure. No disagreement there. You know, you say Nikolai has changed a lot. I don't really see that he's changed a lot. I mean, so how has he changed a lot?
He went from not believing in gods to like gods are real.
Yeah. That's true. That is a big change.
He is a lot less he's a lot less like self-isolated and is opening up a lot more to friends and family.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, yes, I started out the character with a simple concept of why he became an artificer is because he was such a small person in a world of, you know, people that are all exponentially larger than him. And so that I just played it as a kind of like he's always got this struggle of people always helping or he always needing help from people. And that's where he, you know, got into the artificer way, is to, you know, basically make things so that he didn't have to either rely on others nor be dependent on others for things. He could just do it himself. Like, one of my notes on my character is like, he was literally in the process of making some type of apparatus that he can use to walk around in, so that he could be taller and have greater reach. That's like literally one of his character notes. And he's
I don't know, for
accomplished
some
it.
reason I just seen a mouse with stilts with those little grabby claws.
Yeah, but kind of like a little, like a, framework exoskeleton kind of thing. Like that was literally the thing that he was doing. And he's accomplished that. So it's really cool. I mean, granted, he'd accomplished it with extreme help from, friends and stuff. So, but it's just that was like one of the biggest things with Nikolai. And now his struggle, and it's still a big struggle, is what ultimately to do about the photocopy stepdad, basically, character. The clone guy. It's like, I mean, he's got
Xerox Daddy.
Xerox Xerox Daddy. Bad Xerox Daddy. I mean, basically, he's gotten some details about the situation, which is part of the difficulties that he's had with, just outright eliminating the creature, basically. And so he's finally got some answers to that, through which he could understand, like, maybe just eliminating is the best thing to do. And then when everybody else got their parents back and Nikolai only got half his parents back, it's like, what is going on here? It's like, it's just so much, like, so much about Nikolai's existence that is like, well, why not me? Well. So it's quite interesting. And then he ends up sending, like, the closest friend, the closest person that he's had to, like, someone he really clicks with, to her death. Essentially, it's like, God, Nikolai is dealing with so much emotional trauma. So it's like, wow. So it's quite interesting. But yeah, there's definitely been growth, definitely been change. But I don't know that he's changed dramatically. He's still the same guy. He's still, I mean, he is a pragmatist at heart. So I mean, I guess that's, subtleties have changed, I guess. I'll give you that.
Learned a lot.
He's evolved as a individual.
Yeah.
What about you, Tom?
You want to talk emotional trauma, bud? You didn't send your family to get tortured.
Neither did Mongo, or not this version.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is like, ever since, like, okay, the original plan with Mongo was, hey, I'm gonna make a bard. But then that little drop down where you're supposed to check the one, I went all the way down to Wiggly Finger. So it's like, even the stats, it's like, for the most part, I filled out bard.
Yeah.
Background, bard.
Yeah.
Everything was bard. I literally made the character to aspire to be a stage performer. The whole reason to learn spells is to make his act better.
Yeah. Sure.
Come to find out that another version of him held a god basically at gunpoint, saying, "You're going back and you're fixing shit, or I'm gonna make you." And apparently, sending said god back to then make sure that certain family members have basically grown up to have a contest to see who had the worst childhood and possibly get all your parents killed. Well, you're basically living on the fucking life of luxury.
Was all
And then,
part of the plan.
yeah. And then trying to convince your fiance that no, that wasn't part of the plan. We just happened to find each other.
It'd be
But then
interesting
it's
to
like, I
know
want Mongo to like go and apologize, like, hey, God of Time, sorry, other me was a dick. But I keep coming back to it's like, well, if the current version would do the same fucking thing given the similar circumstances, is he really that sorry?
Hey, look, Mongo's an admitted grandfather paradox.
Yeah, because like alternate Mongo lost basically everyone that he cared about. It's the end of time.
Yeah, he was
Evil has won.
last man alive, kind of, basically.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, well, I need to figure out something to do and stay warm, so I guess I'm burning useless books. But it's just like, well, shit, current Mongo in that situation, if he had a loaded wand with a wish spell and any god showed up,
He'd be a prophet,
it'd
right?
basically be the same fucking deal.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
which is a phrase I personally loathe. But it's just like, is there a nice way to say I was going to force you into doing what my bidding?
The question is, I wonder if the version of Mongo that did the timely-wimely tricky stuff, or the coercion to do said thereof, ever actually knew coin, or even knew
Yeah,
about
that's also
her.
the other thing. Is also whose plan was it? Was this all Plume Tree's plan? Or was this alternate Mongo's plan? Or did they work together? Is there any chance of Mongo talking to alternate Mongo?
That'd be interesting.
So it's just like, there's just a lot of guilt and a lot of questions.
Is this the stuff that keeps you up at night, Tom, from the campaign?
Not always.
Not always. What about you,
I
GM?
have had to learn how to kind of shut the tabletop portion of my brain off. Sometimes it's just distraction. But it's just like, yeah, everything that's fucking happened is just like, okay, young Mongo didn't see this shit coming.
I don't think Tom saw this coming.
Nope.
This was not on his bingo card or his scratcher ticket.
Oh, fuck, not even close.
What did you think? Like, that would be a question. What did you think would be, like, the origin or how? What do you think would be the genesis of all of this?
I don't even fucking know.
That's a good question. Like, I kind of wonder too. Like, because we found out that Cayenne basically is of a deific pantheon and stuff like that. So I was thinking maybe it was, the only thing I was thinking is like maybe we would have this big ass showdown with some type of powerful like uber god that was not happy with anything, and the reason why this was being even like allowed is because they were trying to like reset the world or something like that, and we're all fucking with their plans and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and then also to drop the whole thing of keeping everything in balance, because like I've kind of been getting the feeling that it's just like, all right, whether it was alternate Mongo or Plume Tree. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that the guy who taught Mongo how to basically wiggle his nose and make shit happen is a fucking god. But it
Yeah.
explains one or two things.
It's pretty amazing, though, actually.
Then it's just like, okay, went back, adjusted a few things, like course corrected to help take care of that one specific problem that led up to the end of everything.
Yeah.
But is also training Mongo how to possibly identify other issues that may lead to a similar result. Hence all the stuff about balance.
Yeah.
So now Mongo's trying to, it's like, hey, there's all these bad guys whose name we want to cross off our list.
Should we?
Yeah, that's kind of the question. But it's like, well, if we eliminate all of the bad guys, that's going to swing the pendulum all the way to one side. And it's like, well, fuck, are we what caused the end of the world?
Always them risks.
So it's just like
you never know how it'll
No,
play.
I get it. It wasn't our characters that caused the end of the world. It was our siblings that did. And now it's our turn to try to, like they were in their own little party and they're the ones that did all the good and caused the it's now it's our turn not to mess it up, right?
if we go through it, because there's the cheap knockoff of your old man. There's that big ass dragon in the big island that our parents just decided, fuck it, we're gonna start our own country. And it's like those are two pretty big bad guys.
Yeah.
We cross them off the list, the pendulum is already swinging towards one way. We knock them off, it's gonna go even further.
Yeah.
So it's just like, is this also, do we wind up getting to the point where it's like, okay, we're going to make sure that those bad guys like don't come up in some other iteration? Like we see somebody else to step up and fill the void.
Yeah.
Like Mustachio is working with the Red Cloaks. Well, we take out the copy. Well, the cloaks are still around. What's to say somebody doesn't fill that vacuum of power? Then we got to go take them out. So it's like, do we just kind of keep checking everybody off of the list until there's basically nobody left?
Yeah.
And then with absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, are we the ones that basically fucked up and effectively became evil?
Yeah.
In an effort to try to keep everything good.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Of course, knowing me, I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, I always kind of made the assumption that the Red Cloak guys were just either mustachioed Rurik's own, like, personal, like, servants, kind of like his own club, or the dragons. I didn't think they were, I never had any presumption that they were like a whole separate entity or a third.
It's possible that the cloaks are literally just an organization whose loyalty just goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they're effectively just a group of mercenaries.
Yeah.
We really have no way to properly like study them, because every time we try, it always manages to slip away.
Destroyed.
You know what would be interesting is like if the Red Cloaks actually are some type of like cleric, priest kind of hood of some type of royally effed up, necromancer deity, and Rurik is seen to them as like one of the best opportunities of their rebirth kind of thing, and that's why the Red Cloaks are working with Rurik. That'd be crazy. That defeating
Possibility.
Rurik and defeating the dragon are actually small potatoes and not the end of the game. Not the end of the campaign. That would
Be
be
careful,
nuts.
you're feeding our DM ideas.
Oh yeah, I know.
She doesn't have 1,000 that she just hasn't told us about yet.
Well, she's typing right now.
Look, sometimes the players end up creating the story for the DM.
No, she's taking
And
notes to see what we're expecting. That way she can not do that and keep us off guard.
There you
that's
go.
also a possibility too. How about you, DM? What are your thoughts on how like much things have changed since the start of the campaign up to where we sit?
Ooh, I had to be very subjective here. Uh, I've always known where the campaign's gonna go. It's just getting there. I have a full catalog of story, the story to be told. But the ingenuity of you guys as a party has really added a certain level of spice to that story that I enjoy. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I set the stage, you guys perform on the stage, and the story goes there. Minor things have changed. Character things have been explored, the usual things that come with it. But overall, I've had the major story beats there, and I'm already looking at the end game, and I am fucking excited because well, bless you, cheese. And it's in the pipeline. It's coming, and things are finally starting to be pulled back and shown to you guys that have been sitting there for quite a while, waiting for discovery. So, the character growth and changes have been one of the most interesting things to see. Where you guys started the characters, the things I've introduced to the characters, and the evolution of these characters. I knew from session 0 that these characters would not be anywhere near what they were at session 0. They'd be vastly different. It's been a fun ride on my side too. It's always fun getting to share a campaign world, a story setting, and see where things go. It's about as in depth I can go without throwing out possible spoilers there. And Tom was
All right, I got a question for the DM.
All right, what's that?
Now, it's often said that players will always catch their DMs off guard about something. What is something that this little misfit band of former orphans did that just made you personally go, what the fuck were they thinking? Of all things to do, why that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
there isn't one that I can just name because there's too many of them. You're like 2-year-olds constantly climbing up on the counter and getting into the cookie jar. And that's part of why I love this table so much. Is because the ingenuity of you guys add the spice that is needed there. You guys have each done things that are just like the cow becoming a mobile grenade.
Yes.
Kamikaze. Yep.
I don't care what y'all say, I'm still proud of that one.
that section just going full Mustang on. It's just Scab just trying to actually, find his place. Nikolai sending someone off to their death and him just going, well, shit. Just the adaptability of the group is just one of those things that's just like, I don't think you can handle something at times, and then you surprise me and do handle it rather well.
I just wish for Nikolai that at least they'll get something out of that cost that is helpful in the battle coming. Just if nothing comes of it, he'd be even more depressed.
I know that's not a real specific answer there that you were looking for, Tom, but that's as specific as I can get. It's just there's too many.
What has been your biggest, I gotta say, like, holy shit moment in the campaign from your players there, DM?
Oh, that one is hard. When you guys actually cut the bullshit and actually work together in combat. Boss fights, you guys somehow manage to pull up your bootstraps and actually find a way to be cohesive, and that always makes me go, fuck.
What am I gonna do now?
Like, you guys are a rat's nest of a mess all the way through every single situation. But whenever a big bad shows up, you guys are like, time to lock in, we got this. And I'm just dealing with the fallout from that.
That goes for, I think every DM can probably agree with that. You have any idea how often that's an issue that would pop up at my table with you guys? I know it's something that Nate deals with us.
Yeah, that's kind of honestly why I've changed when I was last running any games, was where I basically I just run the world. Whatever you guys are getting into only affects the world if you're affecting it. Like the world, the time's still going. The thing I wanted you guys to get to is still happening. Whether you're going to get there or not, that's up to you. I put these things in front of you. You go over there. Well, I wasn't expecting you to go over there. So, okay. That's still happening.
You can never predict what your players are going to do. Sometimes the players don't even know what they're going to do.
True.
Speaking of which, GM, is there any story beats, any hooks that you have given us that we have not taken, that there's no way we could go back to at this time, that you can share so that we can just have some speculative, like, oh, that would have been interesting moments?
I'm not gonna. I will entertain part of that question. Yes, there is plenty of things you guys have outright missed that could have led to some very interesting things. But I'm not going to mention what those are because they're in the past and long gone. Maybe in a campaign wrap-up, I will actually share those moments, but not right now.
Okay.
I think I can guess one of them that we just kind of completely abandoned, and that's the necromancer that was in that one wizard's tower that we briefly touched up on, discovered the skull of, and mentioned it in passing, and just never went back to it.
It's a fucking list. It's just there's been other priorities.
It's just because
like
that's not really a missed thing like Nate is getting at.
And what I'm talking about, guys, is like there's this thing happening that she had planned for to and put in front of us to do, and we were so into doing something else or just bizarrely oblivious that we just never saw it. you know
Oh, okay.
like one thing I can think of is a mistake I did recently, I'm thinking for sure, is the time spent in the capital city of the what, the Sealy court there,
The fake one.
the Fey court. Like I just totally thought that we were told that we can go in a couple days, we can leave the house in a couple days, but then we also had to leave the city in a couple days. So it's like, okay, well, I'll just read books or something. But no, we were told we were free to go for a couple days. It's like,
I really don't know what the hell the disconnect happened. It's like, dude, if you want to do the thing, just not in the building.
yeah,
That's all you had to do. You should go outside.
yeah. I was just like, my brain was like stuck on like we couldn't leave for a couple
You're
days.
under house arrest.
I thought, yeah, our house arrest will be done in a couple days. Like, great, we're leaving in a couple days, so well, fuck that. That sucks.
Well,
Yeah, for some reason you thought you were grounded.
Yeah, I
And
thought
all
Nikolai
of us
was.
were looking at you like, just go and play outside, fucker.
What was the funny
Like,
part
you're
is
the
Nikolai
master
thought.
officer, we know. You can't figure out how to open a fucking door?
To be fair, Nikolai is a tiny little mouse, and those doors are meant for tall ass elves and fae. So
You would have been able to figure it out if he didn't think that he was under house arrest.
there's doors for fairies too.
That was just the weirdest kind of like, oh well, shit.
Dude, I'm sure we've all had moments like that where just for some reason something just ain't clicking.
oh, absolutely.
Okay, this one's gonna be hard for each of you. What do you think is the most emotional moment for your character
Oh,
up to
Jesus.
this point?
Right. Do you want someone to
The
start in
most
particular?
emotional moment, huh?
Because I can tell you right off the bat, like we already touched on it tonight. It's Wraith, finding out that Wraith died. It's like that just destroyed Nikolai for a while there. And the second one would easily finding out that all his siblings got their entire families back, and Nikolai didn't get his dad back. It was like, well, crap. So yeah, that was the biggest killer of emotion for Nikolai there. It's like he just thought it would be a good idea because she was so good at infiltration and stuff like that, to get her to get into the place and see if she could rescue or in the very least get some information on where Crier Bell's family was, kind of thing. It's like, and then get out and come back. It's like, yeah, and then find out that she just died. And then previously Mai gave us that story beat about the fact that a bird character and a mouse character were found marooned, washed up on the beach. I was like, oh no. And then we were far from anywhere where we could have even have gotten that information. And I'm just saying, it's like, I know what that is, and Wraith is probably dead, and there's nothing I as the player can do. There's no way Nikolai would even know anything about that. It's like, damn, man. That was harsh. That was my 2 cents. Plus some change.
Go ahead, Tom. I'm thinking on it.
Look, when I first, every other fucking campaign that I've ever played in, all three present, I've sat at their tables. Only one of them has actually made me cry. Didn't expect that to happen when it's like, hey, you want to be on the fucking stream? And there's only one episode, because every other time, as soon as the episode's done, it's like, oh, okay, that happened. Holy shit. And then we start getting everything cleaned up and set back, get everything done and get on with the night. There's only been one fucking episode that I couldn't do that with. I had to go outside and take a few minutes. Yeah, you're laughing. And you know exactly which one I'm fucking talking about. That shit was such a fucking gut punch. That shit fucking wrecked me. It's not even funny.
Which episode was that?
Oh,
I don't think the man's gonna know the episode number, but he's definitely gonna remember.
I don't know. Oh yeah,
The
because
story, basically, yeah.
First-
What was the thing?
yeah, the city, the little town that the kids grew up in, there was only like one other Feely folk, and they wanted nothing to do with manga. So effectively, at least I had that. Nikolai, there wasn't even another mouse folk.
Yeah.
There was one other centaur, and there was at least a handful of kobolds. Granted, all of them were dickheads and bullied Scav, so we fucked them up right back. Robbed one of them. But at least they had that. So finally get out into the world, meet another Munchkin Feely folk, and then later got engaged to her. Met a second one. Turns out she was corrupted, and yeah, now I gotta go to West Haven. And then he meets a third one. And their family.
Oh
And
yeah, the connection to the
peek behind the
previous
screen
games.
here. In another campaign, that group had met this particular Munchkin Feely folk,
Yeah.
and all of us fell in love with that character to the point where we all outright stated it. You do anything bad to her, it's fucking on. To the point where Melina actually homebrewed a Munchkin Feely folk race that I am currently playing as Mongo.
Yeah.
And then Mongo finally meets the out of game original,
Yeah.
and she dies of old age.
There you go. Nothing bad was ever done to her.
Nothing bad was done to her, but it was extremely emotional. And then, on his way back to his family, I'm already fighting the fucking tears, trying not to just turn into a fucking ugly crying ball of yuck. And then she decides to drop the other shoe.
Go
This
on.
lizard folk,
Oh, okay.
who happen to be the offspring of
Yeah.
another character who was in another campaign, who's played by a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Can't even fucking get through this part.
All right, Tom. I'll let you take a breather.
Yeah.
Manny?
Let's see. There's a few, to be honest, but if I were to say one of the probably the more emotional like moments in the campaign for the character Scav. It's probably gotta be when he was abandoned by his god. And basically told, I don't want you anymore.
Yeah, that would suck.
That turned him into a crestfallen knight. Just completely distraught, heartbroken. And for a while, Scavard was absolutely useless. Couldn't do shit except for take a hit.
Well, considering the fact that nobody else could, I mean, that's not useless, buddy.
Yeah. To this day, I will still argue if you ever want to throw some levels of Druid onto Scav, you have earned the fucking right because of how many sticks, twigs, and logs have just been rammed through him. It's like you could tell if it's pine or cedar just because of the way it feels on your liver.
Now, another moment, and technically this would be multiple, are the times where he has been able to actually like take that time and bond with his family members, and spending those moments with Cayenne, with Mongo, and with Nikolai, and more or less open up to them where he normally is very very closed, letting that vulnerability show.
So there's another pretty, as far as memories that stand out, Manny, there's another one for Mongo, and it directly involves Scav.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happened relatively early, probably under 50 episodes.
It's crazy to think
When,
Yeah, this is what,
Mongo is
124 or
trying
something?
to say something to somebody. I don't fully remember who, and Scav just looks at him and just makes the snide remark of, I don't care for your lies, brother.
Oh, how did that one go yet?
I don't think you understand how much that fucking hurt Mongo. He still, to this day, carries that shit with him.
Understandable.
In fact, I even messaged our DM when you were having some alive issues. So it's just like, look, if gods are getting involved, they probably know about this, so here you go.
Dang.
And yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's been a fun experiment to be on. I mean, we've all you know changed or improved a lot in how we do things, as far as like how we play the game, and it's been really a major growth thing for everybody, as I see, speaking from the OG GM of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
you were my first DM.
Yeah, and Melina decided that she wanted to do this as a GM. It was like, all right, let's do it. That's gonna be interesting. And yeah, I've seen improvement on all sides of the table, and on each side of the character sheet for all of us here. It's pretty cool. You got any other
take a moment
props there, GM?
What?
You got any other props for us?
in a moment.
Oh, okay. You were going to say something, Manny?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, can we take a moment to appreciate how much Cayenne, the character, as well as Hillary, the player, have grown and improved over time?
Oh, yeah, for
Dude,
sure.
They have
Nobody more
become
than her. Nobody more than her.
Yeah, I mean,
like when we
She's one of
first
my
started
all-time
off.
favorites to play with.
When we first started off, very new to the whole tabletop scene, and now
effectively,
pretty damn incredible.
this whole project is effectively her first game almost. I mean, she played a few games, but like,
this is her first major campaign,
yeah,
and she's
Yeah.
fucking slaying it every time she comes on.
which is
Oh,
awesome.
every time you give her anything to work with, she knocks it out of the fucking park. Every single time, consistently.
Yeah.
She doesn't just run away with it. She takes hold of it, hops on a plane, and goes to a whole new country.
Yeah,
It's incredible how much she can just instantly improv on the spot as someone that's new to the whole tabletop thing. Really impressive. She certainly has grown a lot, and the character is definitely one of the most interesting and compelling characters of the group.
Let's see what else.
The acts of war that will be committed if anything bad happens to Cayenne.
oh, don't worry, it'll be
Jesus.
Cayenne's children.
Her children or her followers?
Yes.
Is there a difference?
I guess. As far as like the god complexes go, yeah, I guess there's not much of a difference there. So, is there anything particular from, say, both Mongo's or Scav's perspective with regards to how they see Nikolai? And I kind of like for everybody there.
Well,
That has
for
either
Scav-
changed or improved or even hell just got worse, as long as it can be spoken within the context of something that the character would. I guess it wouldn't even matter because it's just a discussion. Yeah, sorry.
So, for Scav, he is highly protective of his friends and family, especially his family. And with Nikolai being the smallest of the group, he's particularly protective of Nikolai. He may be a bit of an ass about things, and he may be hard on some of the family members. But the thing is like that's just who he is. He's just highly protective of them. But over time, we're starting to learn and understand that he doesn't have to be like that because he knows that you know how to protect yourselves and understands that you have ways of defending yourself. I mean, just look at yourself and Ace. Nikolai and Ace do incredible things.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Ace more so than Nikolai.
Ace
it's
spends
just
a lot of time on the mat.
but yeah, when it comes down to it, like Scav has always seen every member of the group as they are the precious being that must be protected at all costs, not realizing that he's putting himself in danger by doing so.
That's funny.
As far as if there's ever a fight, like Nikolai gets into it, Mongo will be right there, but he'll also ask him, it's like, do you need my help? Or do you just want me to sit over there and talk shit to the other guy?
Yeah, that's
He will
pretty
be
cool.
more. Nikolai says, no, I've got this. This is between us. Like, cool.
That's pretty cool.
Like, all right, get some snacks and watch the show. You need anything, let me know. He'll be right there. If, like, the other guy starts cheating, well, Mongo will too.
That's pretty funny. And to answer the question on Nikolai's perspective, with directly with regards to what you just said there for Mongo, it's like that's one thing that he appreciates about Mongo is like Mongo will always be there for for him, even though not more often, very often, Nikolai is just infuriated by Mongo's like lack of like spontaneity and sense of adventure and stuff like that. It's like the Nikolai understands prep and stuff like that, but like you can only prep so much.
I can actually respond to that part as far
Okay.
as Mongo's needing to like prep as
Uh-huh.
much as possible.
Uh-huh.
It's because he sees himself almost entirely different than the rest of the family.
Okay. Okay.
Cheyenne, no matter what, is always fucking ready.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't have her glaive in hand, she's always ready. She's always going to be effective.
Yeah.
Scav, always ready, always effective. Sword, no sword, shield, no shield, doesn't fucking matter. Good to go. Nikolai,
Yeah.
the Swiss fucking army knife of offense. You've got Ace, who shows up, goes big, always gets in at least 1 or 2 hits. I think the last time he got 3 before he's counting the lights. You've got basically your fucking mech that you built to go toe to toe with anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also your recent love affair of firearms. So you can dial long distance and reach out and blow a hole through someone. And then you have all these other options.
The artificer
just
class
like,
is
all
so
right,
insane as far as like being able to just pull shit out their ass.
yeah. So effectively, Nikolai is also always ready.
Yeah, yeah, I get it, and Nikolai gets that too for sure.
Mongo's not.
Yeah, Nikolai gets that for sure. It's just that I don't know. He does like I don't know. There seems to be a. It's just an interesting dynamic for sure. I mean, we both characters cast magic, and all the spells that Nikolai can cast, Mongo can cast, but Mongo can also cast more, which is awesome. And it's just an interesting dynamic, and the fact that he does know that Mongo will always be there for everybody and himself, and even if it can only be there to talk shit about the other guys. it can help. I mean, like the last time the party encountered the red cloaks in the
Realm of Fire.
Realm of Fire. Like Mongo was literally just talking to one of the enemies and ended up creating a friend that basically helped finish the whole thing really easily.
Yeah.
Creativity.
Which is Mongo didn't cast the spell. Just being a character. Just being a Gabby character.
I would like to argue the point that you say Mongo is never ready. I disagree. He may not have the right spells prepared sometimes, and he may not be prepared for the battles and the combat, but when it comes to anything that requires just any bit of charisma whatsoever, Mongo's always there, ready to go. He covers the things that the rest of the party can't.
Yeah.
And I think that is very important.
No,
because he basically rounds out the entire group.
Yeah. Very much so.
Mongo, respectfully, just doesn't see it that way. He almost has to have like one playlist for out of combat that can be handy, and then another one for in combat, and then depending on the situation, he's got to have like 3 or 4 or 5 other ones, and
Kind
it's
of
just like,
sprinkled in there.
yeah. But then also he's a potion maker as well,
Yeah.
which those take time to brew.
Yep.
So it's just like Mongo could be unstoppable.
Give him all the
if he had
parameters.
something,
He's
Give him-
literally
like, if he
the
actually knew what he was walking into, nobody could fuck with him.
it's like that argument. It's like that whole argument. Can Batman win a fight? Yes, if he has time to prep. If Mongo had
Yeah.
time to prep, he could be unstoppable.
Look, we made a bunch of Batman references earlier about, Scav's brooding, and it's like all of us kind of embody some aspect of Batman.
Yeah.
Nikolai has his Batman's ingenuity.
Yeah. I guess so.
Cayenne
Yeah.
is
Okay.
his, basically his, fuck you, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Scav has the brooding and also can take the hits.
Yeah, for sure.
Mongo has
Jeez.
his paranoia and his wanting to prep.
Yeah, that's true.
And Ace is the Bruce
And the
Wayne.
parents have the money.
Yeah. The parents have all the money.
And Ace is the Robin.
Yeah,
He
they
will
have-
throw the punches, but gets tossed around a lot.
No, Ace is Bruce Wayne. That charisma.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
he has
yeah.
some charisma.
Yeah.
So
So for Nikolai for Scav, okay. He does seriously appreciate the fact that Scav will just get beat on. Like there's something about that makes any encounter. It's entirely the pragmatism of the character. That is a tool into the toolkit that Nikolai can always know that is going to be available. It sounds terrible.
Worst case scenario, we always have a punching bag.
Exactly.
Go out there.
Give us 2 minutes. Can you last 2 minutes, buddy? That's all we need. 2 minutes.
that just reminded me of something hilarious that's getting posted into the Discord later. It's like, I need at least 5 minutes to charge this attack. And as much as I was getting my ass kicked, well, I think you got this.
It's like, it's just uncanny. It's like, at first Nikolai was thinking, like, God, why is Scav such an idiot? He's just always getting his ass handed to him. He's always getting beat. And it's like, and as it became like, Scav is just going to last for a couple minutes.
This little kobold is pretty fucking beefy.
Yeah, no, that's his fighting style. He's just going to John McClane this thing. He's just going to be physically fucking tougher than the other guy.
Makes
The
you
other
wonder.
guy, might be able to dish out a shit ton of damage, but Scav's got more HP.
Makes
Are
you
you
wonder
telling me
how.
that, Scabbard is basically the love child of Captain America and John McClane.
It's like, I can do this all day. has an arrow in the knees and a sword in the throat.
A few branches here and there. Fuck, if that's just not the most accurate statement ever about Scav. Holy shit.
Yeah, for Nikolai, it's gotten this like, God, Scav can be an idiot. Why doesn't he fight better? Why doesn't he learn how to
Why
do
does he
this
learn
better?
to fucking dodge?
Why doesn't he learn to dodge?
Another one getting posted later.
It's like okay,
Fucking
well,
throw some wrenches.
Oh my god. That's 2 things getting posted to the Discord now.
And it's like, and eventually it just became, well, that's just what he does. It's not that he can't do other things. He's just really good at this. All right. How's that work with our plans?
Don't be surprised if later down the line that a treant approaches Scab and makes him an honorary treant because all the woodening.
It's not a deficiency of Scabs. That's his efficiency. So yeah, that's what I got. It's interesting dynamic of characters for sure.
Oh yeah.
You know what? These are going in the Discord. Underneath the memes.
Alrighty.
Then we also have a literal god in tow.
Yeah, true. And and the fact that Nikolai put together that lithium just shuts off anything Cayenne can do as a god is like, huh.
Yeah.
What happens if we remove that poison from this god? I think she's a god. Because no human can survive that.
If anybody ever asks, "Are you a god?" you say yes.
Yes.
We
Turns out
literally
that
Fuck
Archfey,
around with the goddess of fuck around and find out.
didn't know what hit after a while. Just having fun, playing with these mortals. It's like, no. we're gonna stop your party there, buddy.
Mongo literally gave everything he had in one fucking shot and it did nothing.
What was it that Mongo was doing? What was it that
his little
Mongo was
art
doing?
project was literally the like the crest, the seal, the thing for Osling or Nebea.
Okay.
He was literally, it's like, no, I am just out for the biggest kind of fuck you revenge possible.
Ah, okay.
Like
Okay.
the second, it's like, only got to know, like literally the second Munchkin Feely folk that Mongo ever met. It's like, no. Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, like apparently it's a bit triggering for most of the party. When somebody decides to hurt a kid, we get our game faces on real quick. So it's just like, all right, you're done. But it's just like, I'm getting revenge. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit what this fucking does.
I see what you're doing there. Okay.
Yeah.
So was the goal to bring
Send him
Nevaeh
to
in, or
Osling?
just or just get
No, literally to end the life and send them to Osling.
Ah, okay.
So
That
even
Okay, I see
there's-
what you're saying.
that whole plan would have been amazing if it weren't for the fact that that asshole had so many ways to just say no.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
literally
so-
decided to shut down a healing potion. I'm like, oh, okay, we're that level of fuck. Wish I would have known that sooner.
There is a one significant downside when it comes to that, and that's just the fact that they could just lock down everything we can do. There's so much stuff that any of us could have done. I know Tom knows because we were talking about it before. Like, there are some really stupid, crazy things Angelo can do that just would not work in there because of how crazy that boss was.
Yeah. I missed something. I dropped my headset, but that's the thing about bosses. They have these abilities to just say no.
Yeah.
I mean, that was literally probably one of the most powerful characters or creatures that the party has encountered. And if it weren't for the fact that we literally had two deities, or at least quasi deity there, a second deity or demigod there, I don't know that we would have made it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, unleashing the goddess of madness was basically the only way we kind of got past that one.
I think so. I think that was kind of critical. I mean, maybe I'm patting myself on the back too hard there, but I don't know. It's just like
No,
I don't.
no.
I honestly don't think we would have gotten very far. especially when he locked us down in that illusion. It's like, oh my god, that was so difficult.
That's okay. So the whole thing that you need to be able to see reflections to deal with that made getting out of there fucking impossible for Angelo to deal with since he's blind.
Well, that was
Mongo
just
got you out of there.
that was just what Mongo was working with, was the reflections. It wasn't reflections for Nikolai. It was what I gather from it was just the antithesis of everything that artificery was about. That, like, these words coming out of that character's mouth in that situation are improbable. Like, just go home, go sleep. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Self-respecting artificer would never say that. You need to die.
It was too improbable. It's like there's something weird going on here. Ace is not showing up. Like, Nikolai knows that he can't get rid of him. Like, he can't, like, say, hey, stay here. I'm just gonna go away for a while. I don't want you around. That can't happen. So why Ace wasn't there, it's insane.
I believe that we may have a frozen Tomas.
Yep, it happens.
No, it's rather warm in here.
Yeah. And then the fact that, it was just crazy. And then the fact that, like, nothing would work. It's like, okay, I know I'm learning, but this should not happen.
Thoughts on the character Angelo?
Oh, Fang Face.
You guys are without your paladin. Now you have this asshole to deal with.
Sometimes you just have to shop on Temu for a party replacement.
Oh,
Sometimes that's exactly what it is.
Damn.
It's not wrong though. It really is not wrong.
It's an interesting character for sure. I just think the whole necromancy thing was completely non-functional in that situation. So there's nothing really he could have done.
Yeah, it was incredibly unfortunate in that whole scenario.
Angelo standing there, well, I guess I die now.
I guess I die now. It's an interesting thoughts there. Like, how does the character honestly feel about the fact that you've got these two mortals that are literally just hobnobbing with fucking gods. They're not under the gods' control or command, and several times there've been, like, witty quipbacks from these mortals to one of the gods, and and then this god, and then one god of no action is just destroying everything that Angelo is, and the other god of no action of her own is making him more dreadful than the Lord of Dread has ever done. It's like,
Yeah.
that's got to be some interesting conundrum going on there with Angelo. Like, is Angelo gonna go back to the Lord of Dread after this?
He's loyal. So
Back.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about Angelo. He's loyal to a fault. He enjoys his place, his lot.
Yeah.
The world of the realm of dread is all he's ever known, and so far of his entire encounter with the outside realm beyond that has been nothing but unpleasant. So it's like, I don't think I would want to come back here. It would be his entire thought process, probably. It's like, I miss being home.
Yeah,
But
but what
I'm home.
happens
Please
if
do your
Angelo
worst to me.
goes home and then realize, like, oh, this place kind of sucks. Like, how do you
That's a
break up with the Lord of Dread? It's not you, it's me.
I don't know. See, that's an interesting little concept there. The one thing I'm really curious to know about is what happens if he does regain his mortality, if he's no
We're gonna find
longer a
out.
vampire, because he's just a human. Like he's over a century old, so like he just like instantly die of old age. Like,
That's
how does that work?
that is interesting. I would think that any situation that would cause that to happen, that you would get your mortality back, or that he would get his mortality back, would be basically life-giving. And in such a situation, it doesn't matter if the character was around for 10,000 years. The character now has new life. So that's just my thought on that. I don't know how it would work or how it should, but just my initial thought on that is like, he'd just be given life and he now has his life back. So start at
Fun fact.
birthday number 1.
Fun fact, a little behind the sheets here. Originally, he was going to be a very different character. So when it was discovered that Scavard was going to be away for a while, I sat down with Mai and kind of brainstormed these ideas of, okay, we need to find a replacement that's going to work here. And there were 4 unique characters that were going to be brought in. Every single one of them was going to be a warlock. That was going to be a given. But each one was going to be very different. One of them was, of course, Angelo, the Damphir. But another one was one of the Faenals, and there was going to be a Celestial Warlock that played a bit more like a cleric, but was keeping like their warlock abilities hidden from the party.
Interesting.
And essentially they would have been like, okay, here's a tethering guide that would be connected to the group that could help them in their endeavor within the Feywild. Another character was going to be, okay, this really smart, great old one warlock that would have been more or less like one of the people that offer guidance to Kippa, and essentially would have been like, hey, I need you to go with these people because they're going to need a guide.
Huh.
And another one was going to be a mercenary that was being hunted, that was going to be a hexblade. But settled on Angelo. And it just fit because at the time we were going to the realm of dread, and it just made sense, and Mai made it into a way that made a lot of sense. And it's like, okay, how would this work? Well, the Lord of Dread would probably have his own personal knights. Let's make this guy a Dread Knight. Let's make this guy like literally one of the blades from the realm of dread. And it just clicked and it worked.
Cool.
And would not have happened if not for Mai's guidance in this one. So this character is a large chunk of it comes down to her creativity as well on this.
Cool. But hopefully we'll get to see some more of the character for a while before.
And as far as Angela's mortality goes, or what happens when he looks at Cayenne for too long, well, we're gonna find out if Mongo ever gets a projector.
Gets a what?
Projector.
Projector?
Yes. You put a projector in front of the goggles, in front of Cayenne, and aim it right at Angelo.
That's kind of funny.
Jeez. And here's a question for the DM, because all these characters have a lot of unique followers and a lot of unique familiars and many NPCs that follow them. Amongst all these little tidbits of unique and quirky characters there, all these fun NPCs, Biddy, Feisty, Leaf, Noodle, and of course Ace, all of them. Which ones do you think you enjoy the most, and which ones do you enjoy the least when it comes to voicing them?
Well, Ace doesn't talk, so there's no voice work.
Well, he's talked once.
Oh yeah, he talked once.
Noodle's 3 packs a day voice wasn't fun.
No.
I remember that. Didn't you lose your voice for like almost a week after that?
No, I was just in really rough shape after that. That's why I don't have that Noodle talk too often, because it's just like I have to really dig into that Jorsey voice, and it's tough this time.
I think we
Yeah,
actually
that's
decided after that, it's like, you know what, he's getting a different voice.
Yeah, you actually approached me, Tom, and said change it.
Change it.
Yeah,
It's like, you're hurting yourself doing this, don't do it.
So Noodle would probably be the worst. Biddy, the other one's just even Noodle, they each are just like a different kind of spike of, I guess, a certain emotional charge. Biddy is, of course, just this bombastic edgelord type of feel that just allows me to lean into that of like the
over dramaticism.
High, shrill, over dramatic, little bigger than life vampire.
Little vampire bat-like critter.
Leaf and even Noodle, they're kind of like, two different aspects of, like, I guess, Jack Sparrowism.
Just about.
Actually,
the fact that Leaf can just start, like, swashbuckling with Mage Hand.
Noodle is actually, you're gonna laugh at this. The way I actually always have portrayed Noodle in my head is not a way you would expect. I've always pictured essentially the relaxed nature of Noodle and his hobbitism. It's very much in lines with, what if I took Bruce Campbell and made him a ferret?
Alrighty.
I can see that.
So I've always kind of seen Noodle as, like, almost like the ferret version of, like, a gentleman of leisure.
Yeah.
It's like the only reason why he's learned how to do anything is just because he thought it would be fun.
Yeah, true. That's true.
And, that just lines up really well with, his deity is the goddess of love.
Yeah.
On the subject of familiars and stuff like that, if you don't have more to add there,
Go for it.
There's a thing that I'm trying to understand, and it's not criticism, but what is it with Mongo that he doesn't Not so much that he doesn't, for lack of a better word, use his familiars to reach the end goals, but more along the lines he doesn't he actively tries to prevent Noodle from at all in any way, shape, or term ever getting into any point of danger. Like it's just an interesting thought that is like is does Mongo just see the familiar as a companion person instead of a helper? Like I'm trying to understand.
Well, there's a couple of reasons. In game, from Mongo's point of view, he deeply cares about Noodle and kind of sees him as part of the family, not just a familiar
Yeah, yeah.
that other wiggly fingers kind of look down. And it's like, you're just basically a more functional screwdriver. Um, is kind of the way that I've gotten how some of the other wizards kind of treat their familiars.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
And when we got in the fight with the goose, that fucking demonic feather fucker.
Dude, that bird fucked us up.
Oh fuck. Noodle actually got dropped. He went to 0 hit points. And that kind of really messed with Mongo. So it's just like, all right, we have to go out and do the dangerous stuff. I don't want you to risk getting hurt because I'm being stupid.
Okay, yeah.
So stay with family, keep him safe. He's also aligned with the love goddess, so some of our family's been through some shit, and they kind of need somebody to talk to.
Okay.
Following the love goddess would probably be the best one to talk to, short of a licensed therapist. Out of game, that's just me not really understanding what the fuck to do with a familiar.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I've watched a ton of videos of oh, what's the most powerful spells, and it's like find familiar always comes up, and it's just like I don't understand that one. Prestidigitation, I totally get. You get that one in real life, it's a fucking game changer. The world is now fundamentally different.
Yeah, no kidding.
Even Mage Hand, all of a sudden now telekinesis is real.
Yeah.
And it's just, but find familiar. It's but what? I don't understand. There's a massive disconnect from the player's perspective of, okay, I don't know what to do with one. I love having Noodle around. Don't get me wrong. But it's just like I don't really know what to do. It's like, okay, Noodle, hang back out of blast radius, and then heal anybody who gets hurt. It's like, heal bot?
Yeah.
I can totally understand where you're coming from.
That's actually one reason why I am fucking ecstatic about Biddy. One, just the character is fucking adorable. Just the cutest little thing trying to be as dark and gloomy as possible, and so fucking wonderfully over dramatic. But there's another character who has a familiar at the table.
Yeah.
So this gives the player the chance to watch somebody interact with this kind of game mechanic, so that way maybe I can learn what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
That's fair and understandable. One of the things I really enjoy about tabletops, yes, the roleplay is fun, but I also love the mechanics of how things work, and it lets you do some really fun things. And familiars, yes, find familiar is definitely one of those really strong, powerful spells, but it's also very very situational, because in Angelo's situation, he has things that allow him to do things that are unique to what familiars can do that a lot of the other classes cannot do, but it still gives like a little bit of an idea of what you can do with them. Familiars can cast a lot of the same spells and such that you can do. The only difference in this situation is Angelo can see through Biddy, he can communicate with Biddy, Biddy is capable of communicating with others, and Biddy can quite literally do everything Angelo can do, which is something that normally familiars can't do.
Angelo
But at the
caused
same
mass genocide. Biddy didn't.
Yeah, we found that
And-
flock of familiars is not a great idea.
you know, funny thing, Flock of Familiar is a really strong, powerful spell.
Apparently
And
not.
each one of those little biddies can do the same things that the others can, but unfortunately, you just can't predict a bunch of cannibalistic Lost Boys.
Apparently,
Well-
flock of familiars is really, really good about traumatizing your original familiar.
But
Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
but it is Find Familiar is a really fun and really powerful spell when you can get creative with it.
and know
Otherwise, without it, it's still so much fun to just have that extra roleplay partner out there to play with.
and to what Tom was saying is it's also if you know what you can do with the spell,
Yeah.
which I think is part of the disconnect that you might have there, without getting
Not part
into
of it,
like
that's pretty much all of it.
without getting into a mechanical discussion about the gameplay, just very short, boil it down to what the purpose of the Find Familiar is, and Manny's touched on that, is to basically extend the reach of the caster. For instance, really quick, you have a spell that you can cast out, 60 feet, but your target's 120 feet away. Well, you can move 60 feet. Your familiar then can move 60 feet, and then you can cast that spell through your familiar.
Certain ones you can cast through them.
Certain ones,
Not
yeah.
all of them. A lot of
Not
the
all of
spells that Mongo has seem to be all the ones that he can't cast through.
Yeah, that would definitely
So-
hinder the functionality, the mechanical game functionality of a familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also comes down to the specific class, because
Yeah.
for instance, wizards, yes, you have Find Familiar. Your familiar can do a lot of really cool stuff, but it's specific to what the wizard can do versus what the bard familiar or what the cleric familiar can do.
Yeah.
The warlock familiar is the most versatile because of what they have. They have specific invocations that allow you to do so much more with your familiar.
Yeah.
But because of that, it kind of locks you out of some of the other things that you could do normally. But with like some of the updates to the rules and such and the way that it works, it now allows you to be even more creative, and it allows other classes to do some really interesting things too. You still have some pretty cool stuff that you could potentially do with Mongo. It's just figuring out the right ways to go about doing it, and doing it in an interesting way that still like matches with what the character would do.
Yeah, it matches what the character do, and what and how that affects, or how the way Mai has built what familiars are in the world. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. It was just a question I had for you there, Mongo. Is there something that puzzles either your characters or you that Nikolai does or doesn't do? Just out of just kind of on the same veins of the familiar question I had for you there, Tom.
No, Nikolai is usually pretty straightforward. So if he thinks like an idea is dumb, he's literally going to say, "This is a dumb idea." You don't really have to try to read between the lines with Nikolai. All you have to do is just ask him, and he'll
Ask
give you
him?
the answer. Yeah. It's like, "Hey, Nikolai, what do you think
Come again?
of A, B, or C?" And he will literally tell you exactly. Because I know Nikolai's gotten frustrated with Mongo a couple of times about being like subtle in
Uh-huh.
language and like kind of going roundabout.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Nikolai, it's just like, he's just going to get right to the fucking point.
Yep.
It's like, Mongo will absolutely use 10 words when 4 will do. Nikolai is almost looking to like, how can I convey this message in like as few words as fucking possible? So, is there a way I can just download the information directly into their head? Just so that way there's no fucking confusion at all. If there was a spell for that, I guarantee you Nikolai would do anything and everything that he could to fucking get it.
It's like, I'm tired. I just want to give these people the thought. It's like, here, this is what I'm thinking. All right, cool. Now that we've got the same thoughts there.
It's like, can we just network our brains together for fuck's sakes?
That was pretty great. What about Scav? Or Manny? For
Things
Nikolai?
that confuse Nikolai,
No,
or
no.
that Scav is confused about Nikolai.
Yeah, or puzzled by why things he does, why he does it, or doesn't do.
I guess one thing that Scavard is confused about with is, why is Nikolai so focused on so much that it seems that he doesn't ever really spend time with the rest of his family? But then at the same time, that same question could be asked of Scav and of the rest of the people. But definitely, for sure, the most guilty character in the entire group has got to be Nikolai in terms of not spending time with the family.
Huh.
And that's something that Scaver definitely is confused about.
Huh. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, that's cool.
Say it's the other way around. Scav would be the one who spends the least amount. And Nikolai actually spends a bit more time with.
You know, and that is a lesson I think Nikolai has learned, to spend more time with family and try to involve either family with the things that he's doing or trying to do, and or involve himself with the things that his family is trying to do. I think he's definitely shown some level of improvement, maybe not very much,
Oh,
but definitely some.
Even if it is like, no, I have to like schedule this. It's like, I'm going to work on this project from this time to this time.
Yeah.
And then I have to like force myself to go talk to the others.
Yeah. That's interesting. Any other prompts there for us,
That is
GM?
just to,
I'll throw another one out for you, since we're going to be closing up soon.
Okay.
Well, we'll throw a curveball here.
uh-oh.
Yeah, curveball. What do you think Campaign 2 is going to entail?
If
I
it's
can tell you
anything
one
like...
thing.
What's that?
What's that?
Mongo has already influenced the next character in whatever the fuck the next campaign I play in. Whether it's you guys, somebody else, I can fucking guarantee you one thing.
Okay.
I am going to intentionally make a character that doesn't have anywhere near the fucking number of research tasks that Mongo has. Do you have any idea how many times I have almost slammed my head into a physical because of all the shit I've got.
Calling it.
Like Mongo's got to look this stuff up and this stuff up and this and this and this and this and this. His to-do list is unmanageable.
I'm gonna call it
The
his next
fucking
character.
So I'm making a dude who's just going to physically get into fights.
Yes.
I was
It's
gonna
like, the
say.
whole goal of that character is to suplex a motherfucker.
I was gonna say. His next character is totally gonna be a barbarian to take out his frustrations.
Do it.
I'm not saying no to this. I already have a barbarian idea.
I have a barbarian idea that's more crazy than yours.
Hey, this isn't a competition.
Because nobody could win. The sheer fact that you came up with a character so bonkers and off the wall, Nate won't allow it at his table.
There's
character
actually
was
two
that?
characters.
What character was that?
I
We're not-
think it was the Eric Croker chicken that's
Yeah.
out trying to get cooked.
Nah. I'm okay with that one.
There's a couple, and I don't
No,
remember what they were. But the barbarian I came up with is a lizard folk and a goblin that travel together. And when the lizard folk rages, the goblin wants to be used as a club.
A duo character is always fun. I thought about playing literally 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Tom looks like he's hurt by that idea of a character.
Hey, look, I've thought about doing a dual character idea, and it's like, I think I came up with a fun idea. I just don't quite know how to go about it. So it's just like trying to balance the two. I don't know if I'm actually a good enough player to do that concept. It might be just a little past what I'm capable of.
Dude, you did great when you played your 2 characters that I made you play for that few minutes. That was
Dude, you can
fantastic.
play. You can easily play multiple characters. You've done it before. How about you, Nikolai? Or Nate?
Yeah, I guess the question is, how has your current character in this campaign influenced other characters outside of the campaign?
I'm kind of with you in the same kind of sense, Tom. Maybe not so much so, but in the same, I really want to play a very simple character. You know, I think that could be.
Quick game of Pass the Cat?
Yeah, I guess so. I think that could be a fun experience, actually. I've been playing for so long that I've long ago given up on I'll just play simple character, because I've already played simple characters. I'm an experienced player right now. Let's play weird ass complicated complex characters. No, let's just play a simple character and see how fun that can be again.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll play a really simple character.
It's like barbarian, monk, fighter. It's like, no, a problem comes up, punch it.
Yeah.
Problem still there?
No.
Cool, punch it again.
Sometimes those characters can be the most fun.
Yeah, and the simplicity doesn't have to imply simple-minded, or minimally functional, or minimally.
There was one campaign that we had where my character had like an 8 intelligence. He was like a wooden warforged. So he just did. It just gave me the license to just do all sorts of shit. And oh my god, it was so much fun. But for a long term,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is simple, as in they just have basic skill set, you know, like just nothing super special about them. They're just a person fighting a dragon for some fucking reason.
Yeah. Look, I was just hired to take this idiot to the next town over and try to keep him as safe as possible, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Look, you have to think of it this way, okay? You have to think of it this way. In a world where people can look at you and kill you with just a glance, there are a few things more terrifying than just some dude running at you with a sword and shield.
What about the
So
question
there
for
is
you
one
there,
thing I do want to
Manny?
play with.
What's that?
I really want to play with in D&D 5e. There's the tavern brawler feat,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you just
That
have
is
like
such a fun
proficiency
one.
in whatever random ass object you have in your fucking hand,
Or can grab
and
that's
it's
sitting
like
there.
yeah,
It's like the
So it's
world
like-
is your weapon.
yeah, and it's like being a fan of Jackie Chan movies.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like so much fun.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
A drunken monk with tavern brawler would be insanely fun to do.
So, for the question for you there,
So
Manny.
to grab one of the bad guys and hit just to beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. That is on my TTRPG like bucket list.
What was your question there, Nate?
I guess it has evolved to what have you learned or felt about with playing Scav that makes you want to explore, I guess, in for the next character in the next campaign.
I suppose it depends on what system we choose to play.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Because any character can fit in any genre based in any system. It really can.
I would argue that.
I would. I'm kind of with Nate on this one because we played a couple of different games, and our level of basically bullshit. It really does the game mechanics really don't fucking matter that much. It's like we played D&D 5e. We've I think we did Shadowrun that one time. We've done Kids on Bikes more than a few times. Aliens.
Yeah, Aliens. Yeah.
And it's just like
Cyberpunk very briefly.
Cyberpunk, yep.
Yeah. And really all the dice are ever there for is just a random number generator that's analog just to see how well we do the thing.
Yep. But go ahead,
That's
man.
it.
Let's see. To answer your question, Javard is an incredibly simple character. Yes, he does do some religion-based stuff, but not a whole lot of it. More often than not, it's I'm here to support you. Oh, you're hurt. Let me go ahead and just touch you to heal you a little bit. Oh, we need to talk to a god for a moment. Let me try and do that. But more often than not is, oh, the enemy's over there. They're hitting my family. I'm gonna whack him with the sword. And so, I kind of want to try something just a little bit more complex for the next character. Which is kind of what I'm doing with Angelo here, a lot more technical, but even then, still fairly simple. I'm thinking the next character is going to be something very technical. Something along the lines of perhaps, well, again, it depends on system. If we do 5e again, maybe a wizard. You know, wizards are really a lot of fun. They force you to think a lot. They force you to plan a lot. Perhaps even a bard. But if we end up doing a Pathfinder, I have been looking so much into the summoners and the commander class. The commander class just looks and sounds so much fun. Requires so much planning. And if we end up doing something like for instance, something along the lines of like Cyberpunk, then I might end up doing like a media or a rocker boy. You know, something that requires having a little bit of like that planning and charisma. Something that I don't have. But
yeah, that is.
I just think it would be a lot of fun to really heavily step outside of the comfort zone and do something outside of the norm. I kind of already did that with Scav, playing a class that I did not enjoy initially and starting to enjoy it. But I really want to step into something such as, you know, like a really spellcaster heavy character or a technical heavy character that would be just so much fun to experiment with.
Cool.
Force yourself to think outside of the box.
But here's a play on that. Because all of us have been playing assorted TTRPGs with each other for kind of a while now.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you, Melina, Nathan, and I have been, I don't think it's been a full decade yet,
Darn near.
but it's getting close.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I said I wanted to play like a kind of a basic character where you just solve problems via punching. But also I've played more than a couple of spellcasters, bards, and wizards. No secret are my favorites. What's something y'all would like us to play? Like just to see.
Just see
I
you
think
play.
it'd be fun.
This one goes out to you too, DM.
I think it'd be fun to step into a new system that we haven't touched a whole lot of on. Something like Cyberpunk, something like the Blade Runner game. I would bring up Shadowrun, but don't do it. Not yet. It's such a complicated system that people are still learning. It's a lot of fun, but I would recommend Cyberpunk over Shadowrun. If we're gonna do something like that.
So what you're saying is just jump into an entirely different system.
Yeah, something that'll be unique and different. Something that'll challenge us as not only the player characters, but as the players themselves.
Oh, interesting. So I think to answer your question, Tom, I think it would be for me if I were to when I run a game with you guys or for you guys next time, it would be something more along the lines of whatever system it is, because the system doesn't really matter, is whatever character you pick, hardcore challenge yourself. And I know there's kind of oxymoronic where I'm getting there. Hardcore challenge yourself to play a character and do good at playing that character. That is at the bottom of your list of characters to play.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
A lot of people are, you should always play the character you want to play. And that's true. That's 100% true. But
Yeah.
the fact of you've got this list of 10, say there's 10 characters in this system that you're using. And you've read them all, you understand them all as best as you understand, and you have the one that you want to play and the one that you just have no interest in playing. Play that one. Because that really challenges a player on growth, especially if they can accomplish something with that character. So that would be my suggestion, because that not only challenges the player in growth, it also challenges the GM in growth, because one of the things a lot of GMs actually have an absolute amount of pleasure in or get an absolute amount of pleasure from is helping their players play the game. So for me, if one of my players is playing a character that they're not quite jiving with, I would be very happy to have them come to me and say, help me figure out how to jive with this character, please, that would just be awesome. That would be a whole nother level of interaction that's, as a GM, I don't get to have very often because I don't have a revolving door of players. So that would be my thought.
Yeah, no, I'm actually immediately reminded of there was one character that I played for a while that for the longest time I was not jiving with, and I just didn't ask. I just decided, like, no, I'm just gonna fucking bear down and keep fucking going and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that incident where you had me, we were fucking with you, and you decided, you know what, I'm gonna fuck with you too. You guys just crossed over a tree. Guess what? That's a tree ant. Only one of you can play a tree ant. Now you're playing both characters. Go. One of the funnest fucking experiences I ever had at the table. I swear to God.
Look, Doomtree is got to be one of the best characters you've ever come up with.
Dude, straight up, all that time. How long was that campaign fucking running?
Jesus, 2-3 years.
Yeah, all those years that I was playing that character, completely fucking lost. Didn't know shit. We even leveled up a few times, but I was so unfamiliar with how the druid system worked. I never changed my spells. Even when we level up and I could have access to more, I never fucking added.
Oh,
And a
wow.
lot of that was just on me because I never actually took the time to say, hey, DM, help. And it wasn't until that time that you were effectively getting even with us that I didn't actually start to actually get the characters. Like, oh, this is what they're about. Just the fucking like light bulb went off, which is funny because all the times that I wasn't getting the character and he was set on fire.
How do you
know,
answer that question for us there, Jim?
You about covered it all, so.
I got a question for you guys.
All right.
This goes out to the DM as well. What has been your most favorite character? And it doesn't have to be in stream. It can be the home games too. What has been your most favorite character and your least favorite character you have ever played?
Oh, wow. I can quickly answer that. My most favorite character that I played was probably my warlock that I created, just to get back at you, Manny, there for warlocks, overusing warlocks in a very specific spell all the time. I
I don't
created
think I was there for that one.
No, you were there. You were totally there.
there.
You were totally there.
Which character was that?
You were playing your lizard folk druid, I think.
I never
It
had a
was like
lizard
shape
folk.
of an alligator or something, or is that?
That was me. I was playing a druid that was an alligator. That was the. It was a lizard folk gator by the name of Brazelmal, and that was the first time we had the mushrooms. He was a spores druid that created all like the unique mushrooms to do
What was
things.
Tom playing?
Munchie Maker. That's
Munchie Maker.
it.
Yep.
Many Munchie Maker.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I created a warlock of the Jinn, who didn't know he was a warlock, and every single spell that he had was literally just verbal or semantic. So basically I gave the GM I here a list of if my character says these words, he's casting these spells because his patron has decided he's going to cast those spells. So I was just playing this I was just playing this dude that this drunkard, like blasé drunkard dude that was just there along for the ride, and like shit was happening all the time, and like okay. it was just
You
so
were drinking out of this one like mug, getting absolutely sloshed.
yeah.
But anytime anybody else went to drink out of it, there's nothing there. So we just thought you were crazy. Funny story behind the scenes. That's also effectively where the deity seeping came from.
Yeah, it was that game.
And also the last bit of the campaign that we played in there was also the biggest twist ever.
What was that? I probably
Turns out we
remember
were
it.
just reading a book by a bard that we traveled with.
Yeah,
On
exactly.
top of that, it's like I remember that too. It's like
Yeah.
I don't even sound like that.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Maya hits us with that, and it's like, fuck, wait, what?
That's right. We should close that out. That's right. It's like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
So that was your most favorite. What was your least favorite then?
Least favorite? Oh, geez, that's a much harder one. I'll let you guys start it off while I try to think of what my least favorite, because there's appreciation I have with all of the characters I've played. I would just have to come up with like which one, if it's even possible to come up with one I absolutely hated playing, or at
All
least
right.
didn't like to play the most.
Mr. Tomas. Your most favorite?
Most favorite is really hard to nail down because, like, once I got a hold of Doomtree and actually kind of figured it out, it's like, okay, I was having a great time playing that. But also, I loved playing Fives, who is
that was so fun.
another wizard. I know, big shock. Kobold, who didn't realize he was becoming a wizard because he thought he stole somebody's cookbook.
I remember that whole campaign. My God, when I first set that up, I'm like, all right, guys, here's the premise, here's the world, here's some lore for you to work with. Just go ahead and throw some characters together and let's go with it. And then Maya introduces her character, Kobold. I'm like, cool. Nate introduces his character, Kobold. I'm like, okay. Tom introduces his character, Kobold, and I'm like, uh-oh.
And we had a trench coat too.
And man, that whole game was a fun mess, but Fives was a really cool, interesting character for sure.
Because he was a lot of fun. Zanric, just a
Rockstar.
fucking rock star. That whole campaign was absolutely wonderful. We actually got Nate. I can't remember if you were like just took like a quick sec to go grab something to drink, but we actually got you out of the chair and just going from like one side of the room to the other, just like totally over the top. And we haven't been able to do it since. And
That was when Zanric was doing something
One
like
of
a
these
power
days-
slide or something, right?
oh yeah, every time he cast Thunderwave, it was just power slide, hit his guitar. We had one person at the table for that as well, and she just looks at me, fucking really?
That was hilarious.
But I also love Mongo too, because I've never had like the highs and lows emotionally. So the fact that I've gotten to actually do all of that is unbelievable. My turtle wizard, who has a fucking 19 strength, that I justify as books are heavy. Who's traveling around with a band of shit. There are times he just gets stopped because he just scratches his head. It's like, how the fuck did I get in league with these people?
Oh, we know. He knows.
Yeah, because
Takes him-
somebody
takes
decided to
him-
buy a fucking fruit before paying for it. But there's only been one character that I tried doing a very specific build on there, and I got the levels wrong, and I just couldn't find a way to make it work. All the role-playing stuff in the campaign was absolutely wonderful. It was great. Loved it. Would totally do it again. But I'd have to try to balance things better on the character sheet. And I think Melina knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Who's that?
It's the first Munchkin Feely folk I ever played.
Oh.
I
Still
don't think I
have
was
the character.
there for that one.
No,
Yeah, I
you
don't think I
weren't.
was there for that one.
No.
No, you were. You played a gunslinger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was that Frenzy Kneecapper?
Yep.
That's it. Frenzy Kneecapper, yeah.
That's right,
Um,
Frenzy Kneecapper.
On paper, it was 4 levels of Bard and 4 levels of Barbarian. If I were to go back to that, there wouldn't be an even split.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes that's trap when trying
Because
to
like
balance out.
anytime that I tried doing like the Barbarian thing, I constantly was like, oh, okay. I kept looking at it as like he's half of this and half of this. I never looked at him, but he's all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I tried doing the Bard thing, it's just like, well, I'm only like a little bit of Bard.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll try doing the Barbarian thing. I'm only a little bit of Barbarian.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
that's a
just like
trap for multi-classing for sure.
yeah. So
See,
it's just
you
like
tried to make-
Go ahead.
It sounds like you were trying to make a scald, like those very musical warriors from like the barbarian time of the Viking times, basically what they were.
I just really like the name Barbarian.
You're
that.
running with it.
There's just really nothing complicated there. And again, that's another time that I was just being stupid and did not ask for help. I just tried to muscle my way through it, figuratively. And yeah, I should have asked for help. I should have said, hey, I'm having trouble here. Do you have any ideas on how I could do this better? Maybe respec, maybe do something else, like
Mhm.
something. I should have asked for help and I didn't.
Yeah, I think I had definitely had some insight into that situation where she basically started making it sure that we understood that we should always be able to respect our characters if we really needed to. And a couple times since then, we've been able to kind of reorganize and redesign our characters so that they just work better. So
For the most part, I try to see that as like the last option possible.
yeah,
That it's like, okay, I need to make an adjustment. I rolled the dice. I'm dealing with this,
uh,
but it's like, okay, maybe I just need to look at it from a different perspective.
yeah, yeah.
And again, that was a total failure on my part.
What about you there?
So if I do
Person that read
play,
the question. Sorry, I thought you paused for long enough there, Tom. I'm sorry. I thought you were.
oh no, it's okay.
Go ahead, finish.
Oh no, it's just if I ever play something like that again, I'm definitely having conversations first.
Good, good.
Let's see. There's been a couple of them that I enjoyed quite a bit. I played a I played a halfling divination wizard by the name of Dildo Swaggins. And he was a dice master that was created more or less to basically just help the party get through a bunch of really difficult situations. This was at an entirely different table. That guy was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing let's see. There was a Null Ranger I played by the name of Gartosh that was in like 5 different campaigns for Pathfinder. That was a lot of fun. But out of all of them, I gotta say, probably Scavard. Scavard is both my most favorite and least favorite character I have ever played. Most favorite because there's a lot that goes into him that makes him interesting and has made me like look at things in a new light as a player on how to like go about things. But when I first started off with him, I hated everything about the character. The general idea of him was interesting, but no matter what I did, could not click with the character until like almost 2 or 3 months into us getting into this campaign. And it wasn't until like several, and I mean like at least a good, what was it, like 30, 40 episodes in, that finally it just clicked.
Maybe.
Something like that. And that's when that whole thing happened, he instantly became one of my most favorite characters.
Okay. Do you have a response there, May?
For a least favorite, I don't know. I really don't know. There's not a lot of characters. Like, a lot. Probably as a player?
Yep.
My favorite is still Kupo.
Yeah, Kupo's awesome.
Probably my most hated, because I'm
Kupo is a legend.
Where are you getting that? You never look at the player again.
I literally just made that character, did that character. I came, I saw, I did, and left the table. I think I broke the table with that character.
Yes, you did. Definitely broke the GM many, many, many times. I can attest to that.
Broke one of my characters.
Oh my god. I don't even remember that character's name. For context here.
For 5 sentences.
Five
Even
words.
for sentences, 5 words. So for context here, she played this little badass kobold by the name of Kupo, right? And I joined this table at the campaign. Said 5 words upon meeting Kupo and was immediately, and I'm talking instantaneously, obliterated and had to make a new character on the spot.
Continue, please, Mike.
Yeah, that character is probably, that little devil of a kobold is probably my favorite character I've ever played. And really flexing how much I know the rules and how to bend them to my favor. And also,
That one's definitely
this
Go ahead.
character is a good character, but now is like the main character.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think at the table, that one has got to be a fan favorite character that everybody loves.
Broke others who were sitting at the table because you have this one like almost legendary item and you're using it as like a chest knife. But oh look, combat. Bonk with frying pan.
Oh, and the proclamation of fix it when the frying pan broke me.
In the middle of combat. We're all about to die. My frying pan broke. Not that. Like, as soon as we're out of danger. No, now.
ridiculous, but awesome.
Didn't you also just like roll for big sad eyes to just like
Yep.
get the shit out of my character?
Yep.
It's like, okay, I might die, but well, at least the kobold will be happy.
Oh man, that character Kupo is a gem, literally and figuratively.
Did you mention about a least favorite to play?
I really don't have one in thought.
Yeah,
Because, see, the problem is, like, I'm essentially a forever TM.
you are
So-
not.
Any character that I've played has a lot of room for growth, no matter how unfavorable they are to me as a player.
Yeah.
So I really don't have a least favorite. It's just all kind of like, they all have a little bit of place.
Yeah, this is the same kind of problem I had with coming up with a least favorite, but I think I finally came up with one. If I can finish my my side of the question, if
Yeah, go ahead. And then
go
we'll
ahead.
call it for the night.
Okay. It took me some time to think about it, and this is why. Because I'm currently actively playing that character. It's Nikolai. But it's not just because it's not that he's my least favorite character to play, therefore I don't like playing him. That is not the case. He's my least favorite to play because as this character levels up, the complexity and the ridiculous bonkersness that the artificer can do is just mind-boggling, and it's like I want to see it happen, but the reality of the things that a higher level artificer can do is challenging to believe will actually be able to happen. And so I just feel that I'm not going to get the satisfaction to no fault of anybody, to see Nikolai in his full glory of this uber artificer. So I feel like I'm going to get a disappointment there in having had played the character, but I do enjoy playing the character full-heartedly. So that's where I was getting there on that as well. So yeah, Nikolai is just so difficult to play because I've set him up in a way as a character that to play him any differently would be basically not playing that character anymore. So it's kind of like it's difficult. And it's a challenge, and it's a challenge that I think I'm going to fail at. So that's why I'm anticipating that in the end, Nikolai will be my least favorite character to have played. But again, not that I don't like playing it. So
Yeah, I can get that. Similar situation with what happened with Scav.
Yeah.
Where it's like you like the character, but there's things that prevent you from really liking the character.
So any parting words for us, GM?
Party words?
Parting, not party. I guess I want to say party words.
Be groovy?
Be groovy, dude.
Groovy.
Be excellent to each other.
Not really. I mean, this was kind of just a chill out and talk about things session. I think next week we should be back to a full table, so.
Yep.
That's good.
A good way to catch up on things and just chat about the happenings at the table.